Hello, fight fans. Thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, Rampage Jackson defends young legend Conor McGregor after UFC 303 withdrawal. Moving on, Dana White opens up on Jon Jones' UFC return, confirms Jones will be back soon. Next, Dana White claims Michael Chandler wants to wait for Conor McGregor fight despite no guarantees remark. Lastly, Colby Covington takes aim at hypocrite Sean Strickland for suggesting UFC pay is utter garbage. Rampage Jackson has taken up for former UFC champion Conor McGregor in light of his recent injury. Conor McGregor was slated to headline UFC 303 later this month against Michael Chandler. The bout was going to be his first since breaking his leg against Dustin in July 2021. Nearly 3 years removed from that injury, Conor McGregor was set to return opposite Michael Chandler in a welterweight contest. However, that bout will need to wait. As first reported by Ariel Helwani and later confirmed by the UFC, Conor McGregor is dealing with an unspecified injury. Due to that injury, the Irishman will have to wait to make his return to the cage. According to recent reports, McGregor is now hoping to fight in August or September. Since the Irishman's withdrawal from UFC 303, many fans and fighters have taken aim at Conor McGregor. Some believe that the former two-weight champion will never fight again, and that's fine, with Rampage Jackson. Appearing on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, the former UFC light heavyweight champion discussed McGregor's injury. There, Rampage Jackson took up for the former champion. He added that he would watch Conor McGregor do just about anything, as he's a legitimate fan of him, not only because of his fighting style and success, but because of what the Irishman has done for MMA as a sport. Here is what he said: Conor McGregor's a 100 millionaire. What the are you doing out there fighting? He doesn't need that. I can't blame him for not fighting. If I was that rich and I had any ounce of pain in my body, I would pull out of the fight too. No, if I'm being 100, if I was that rich and still fighting, I would be doing it purely for the love, because I still love competing. Conor McGregor is a young legend of the game. Let that man do what he wants to do. Let him keep entertaining you all. What do you make of these comments about former UFC champion Conor McGregor? Do you agree with Rampage Jackson? According to Dana White, UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones could be back as soon as this summer. Jon Jones hasn't competed in well over a year. Last March at UFC 285, Jon Jones ended a lengthy hiatus by moving up to heavyweight to face Ciryl Gane. Fighting for the title that Francis Ngannou left vacant, he needed only one round to dispatch of Ciryl Gane. Jones earned a first-round submission victory to win the gold. Following the victory, Jon Jones called to face former champion Stipe Miocic. The two eventually agreed on a deal to headline UFC 295 in November, but the bout failed to come to fruition. Due to an injury to Jones, the fight was scrapped. Despite multiple call-outs from the interim title holder, it seems that Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic is still the goal for the UFC. Talking to the media, Dana White discussed the heavyweight champion's return. There, the longtime promoter confirmed that Jones will be returning later this year, but declined to get specific on when. Here is what he said: yeah, he's doing well. We'll see him soon. We'll either see him in the summer or the fall. For what it's worth, Jon Jones has made it well known when he wants to fight. Earlier this year, the UFC heavyweight champion stated that he wanted to fight Stipe at Madison Square Garden in November. For the latter, it will be his first bout since a second-round knockout loss to Francis Ngannou in March 2021. However, if Jon Jones winds up fighting this summer, it will be a big season for the heavyweight division. In July, interim champion Tom Aspinall is set to defend his gold against Curtis Blaydes. If both men win their respective bouts, there's a possibility that Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall could happen in late 2024. While Jones has discussed retirement a lot lately, he's also taken many shots at the interim champion on social media. Are you excited for the return of heavyweight champion Jon Jones? According to Dana White, Michael Chandler isn't ending his pursuit of former UFC champion Conor McGregor. Chandler has spent the better part of 2 years trying to get a fight with McGregor. Following a knockout victory over Tony Ferguson in May 2022, Michael Chandler took to the live mic with a passionate call-out of Conor McGregor. After a loss to Dustin later in the year, the Bellator champion got the news he was waiting for. That news was that he was going to coach the Ultimate Fighter against Conor McGregor. The expectation was that Michael Chandler would fight the former two-weight UFC champion in the latter half of 2023. However, due to the Irishman's obligations with filming the remake of Roadhouse, it was postponed. Early this year, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler was finally announced for UFC 303 in June. Sadly, the bout is now officially off. However, there's no guarantee that Chandler will ever get to actually fight McGregor. That's something the former Bellator himself admitted in a video posted online earlier this week. Speaking in a recent interview, Dana White opened up on the postponement of Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. There, the longtime UFC president confirmed that Chandler had no intention of facing anyone else. However, White added that they would make a fight for the former Bellator champion if he wanted. Here is what he said. Chandler, I think poor Chandler wants to wait for Conor McGregor, man. You know, whatever he wants to do, we'll do. If he wants to get a fight this summer, we'll do whatever he wants. He's one of the greatest athletes I've worked with, and he's a good human being. I like him a lot. Whatever he wants to do, we'll figure out for him. He really is a good dude. While Michael Chandler's decision to wait for Conor McGregor isn't surprising, it does make sense why a short notice fight wasn't made for UFC 303. As reported by Ariel Helwani, the company was interested in making a bout between Chandler and Max Holloway for June 29th. However, it failed to come to fruition. Do you believe Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler will ever happen? UFC star Colby Covington has gone after Sean Strickland for criticizing the state of fighter pay in the promotion. As we know, Sean Strickland is an outspoken guy. He's made a career, at least in the last few years, out of letting the world know what he thinks. Some people believe it's an act, whereas others just think that's who he is. Either way, he's annoyed a lot of people, and his latest frustration has been in relation to UFC fighter pay. Everybody is aware of the controversy surrounding fighter pay. Some believe they earn a good living, whereas others believe they're being taken advantage of by the company. Regardless of which camp you fall into, it's clear to see that Strickland thinks there needs to be some kind of reform in the future. Colby Covington, another man who speaks his mind, has responded to Sean in a recent podcast. Here is what he said. My thoughts are, Sean changed his life, so he's kind of hypocritical to be saying this. Now, he lives in a really nice mansion-style house, has great cars, and has money in the bank. So who is he to say this? He's literally being a hypocrite too. Like, he's talking about the guys that just started in UFC. He's talking about the 10-10 pay. Yeah, that's when you get your first fight in UFC. Let's talk about what he's getting paid now. He's making a guaranteed $500,000 to $1.5 million in that range. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.